So remember back when we were kids and snow was this magical, wonderful thing?
Sure.
Miss those days?
A little bit.
Because it's not so magical anymore.
Nope.
I hate the snow.
Snow is bad.
For those who are wondering, yes, where we live, we just got hit with a sudden snowstorm and we had
Western Washington.
Yeah, Western Washington, over 2 feet of snow. I had to shovel for 4 days straight just so I could leave my house.
Yeah,
It sucks.
we're not used to that amount of snow here.
Yes, we don't have infrastructure for
We
that.
very rarely get like more than 6 inches.
Yeah, we had power outages and all sorts of problems.
I lost power for one night, which that was cold, and then I lost internet for over a day.
Yeah, I lost power for a few hours.
I had to take down my collapsed awning.
Yep, we have a carport collapsing. We lost one of our storage tents to the snow. Yeah, it sucks. I hate the snow now.
The house trapped for 3 days, basically.
Now I understand why my parents hated snow when I was a kid.
I think my mail has not been delivered for the last few days because there's a massive thing of snow right in front of the mailbox.
Yep.
I do think legally we're supposed to clear out, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's across the street.
Hard when the plow... Oh, wow. Yeah, it's another one. The plow actually took out a bunch of mailboxes.
No, not surprising that.
Yep, they come by, plow the snow, and it just crushes the mailboxes under them. So yes, it's been a very interesting week.
Yeah, a lot of stuff I wanted to do didn't happen, or happened very late.
Yeah, I had to pull a 12-hour shift at work to make up the lost time. But yes, we're not here really to talk about snow. We're here to talk about other things. So hit
Pony
that
things.
intro music, and let's actually get started. Yes, welcome to Pony 411. This is episode 251 for the week of February 17th. I am Alca7raz, and joining me is Nemesis.
Hey.
And yes, we had snow.
Snowmageddon happened.
Yep, Snowmageddon, Snowpocalypse, both of those terms are being used.
We survived, though.
We survived Snowpocalypse. Barely, but we survived. Not unscathed. So yes, we do got another episode to bring you this week. We've got some interesting things. We've got a decent amount of news to talk about. Some stuff's popped up. We've got the toy fairs happening. Things are coming out of that.
Many things.
Yes. We do have a bunch of little shorts that have popped up in the last couple of weeks that we're going to talk about. We have another main discussion that we'll get to. We've got a little bit of fan content as well, and that will be that. So let's get started with the news as we normally do. You can follow along by going to our show notes at pony411.libsyn.com/show notes. Remember, that's spelled LIBSYN. So go there, click the link for this episode, and let's get into this. First up, in convention news, HarmonyCon happened, and things happened during it. So, for those who were watching, or you know what happened, for those who weren't, it looks, I think the official hasn't come out yet, but it looks like they got swatted.
Yep.
So, the first night, during the concert, the fire alarm went off, everyone evacuated, and suddenly there was a lot of cops.
No, apparently there were already cops beforehand.
Yeah, well, they showed up. So what we've heard, again, some of the details get a little bit murky. What we heard is that they pulled the alarm to try and get people out because the cops and the SWAT team show up fully armed and clear the entire building. Apparently, what was confirmed to one of the local news stations is that there was a report of a hostage situation and 2 bombs planted in the building.
Fun times.
Yeah, they found nothing. They cleared the building and everyone came back in. So it looks like someone swatted them. Someone made a fake report. That was interesting. Unfortunately, it's not the first time this has happened.
Yeah, the thing is, it's not. No one knows if it's just because, oh look, pony stuff, better swat them, or it's just someone saw, oh, a bunch of people, better swat them.
Yeah, I don't know if it's actually connected to fandom hating or just general stupidity. So, yeah, again, we don't know the exact details. All we know is the police had a report of a hostage situation, 2 bombs, and they came in with the SWAT team.
And everyone had to go out in the cold in the middle of the night.
And everyone, fortunately, we did see some really good examples of the fandom's generosity.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of people pitched together to get people help. I know Purple Tinker booked 2 suites at the Marriott across the road to get a whole bunch of people out of the cold. We had a whole bunch of people start ordering hot chocolate and coffee and stuff to bring to people to get them warmed up and stuff like that. So it was really nice to see the generosity out of fandom. But holy crap, SWAT team. That's always fun when you see on the live.
In the middle of the night, or concert in the middle of the night.
They were live streaming the concert, and the live stream was still running.
Yep.
And we see the cops come in with guns. It's like, oh
no,
things just got real. This is not a fire alarm. This is not a normal thing. So yeah, hopefully this does not continue to be a trend into the future. So moving on, BronyCon, which had the first fire alarm for the fandoms, funny enough.
Yeah.
BronyCon. Anyway, BronyCon has announced Andrea Libman and Brett McKillop, as well as vendor hall applications being open.
Until the end of the month.
Yep. So get to that if you want to be a vendor there. GalCon has also announced Andrea Libman. Andrea's really popular on the convention circuit.
She goes to a lot of cons.
Yep.
She's also, if I recall, she's one of the cheaper VAs to get.
Yep. And Winnie City PonyCon has announced Brenda Critchlow, Marique Hendricks, and Chiara Zanni. Yeah, Chiara Zanni.
Mm-hmm. Their first guest announcement for their next con.
Yep. Into merchandise news, Toys R Us is coming back. Sorta.
Again, sort of.
Yes.
They've announced to come back before.
They've announced it, but we have, I guess, a little bit more details. Sorta, not really. Anyway, the parent company, the new parent company, True Kids Brands, has shared some of its ideas on how they plan to bring it back. Its vision for the future of Toys R Us, as it were. The idea of pop-up stores, stores within stores, wheels within wheels, all that sort of stuff. They're talking about all of their plans, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes down.
Again.
It
all comes tumbling down.
Yes. Cadence and Shining Armor have been added to the Game Loft game on their Hearts and Hooves event because Valentine's Day just happened.
I think they're already there. I think it's adding a new story for them based off the
comic.
New
story. Yeah, it's a whole Hearts and Hooves.
The Nay Anything. Remember that one?
Oh, yes.
Way back when.
A new Pinkie Pie toy has been announced called Oh My Giggles Pinkie Pie. She giggles when you tickle her, and there's also a light sensor to make her go off when the light changes or someone passes by, kind of a thing. So, tickle me, Pinkie.
Pretty much.
Pre-orders for the Kotobukiya Twilight are now available.
Woo!
Yes, they're about, $100 or so?
90
give
bucks.
or take. 90, 100, depends on where you find them. And they've also shown the concept art for all of the main 6. Yes. I'm going to have to buy that dash if it does eventually come out.
Yep. I got my Kotobukiya Twilight ordered at a Big Bad Toy Store. Because as of right now, they're the cheapest place to get it. Because I believe, that you can get it for about $94, depending, or a little bit more than that, depending on the tax they charge you where you are. But yeah, $90 plus the $4 shipping.
Yep.
Because usually this sort of thing you try to import from Japan, but even those places are charging $90 before shipping, and that's going to be not cheap to come from Japan.
Yeah.
For once, though, Toy Wiz apparently has it for actual retail price and not stupid obscene a markup that Toy Wiz likes to do.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the dash. The concept art has really gained ground. There's a whole bunch of fan art of it.
I need to check. The release date, I believe, is actually... You check that. I think it's August. I want to double check.
Yeah, hopefully they speed up the releases.
Yes,
though.
August.
Hopefully they do speed up the releases.
Well, remember,
what does it look,
this is already sped up because Twilight was supposed to come out in December initially.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were saying end of the year, and now they're saying August.
So a little bit sped up. Hopefully it's
Which
not
means
like
Fluttershy will probably be hitting by the end of the year. They're probably going to get all 6 of them done before end of 2020.
Good. I don't want to have like one a year. Oh no.
That's the last one they cancel or before they finish.
Oh, I don't know. I'm pretty sure they'll sell pretty well.
Yep.
Might not want to wait.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because like some of them are clearly based off the Equestria Girls designs. Others are kind of pretty heavily modified or outright different.
Artistic license. I don't know. If they look good, then that's all that really matters.
Just want a sunset. That's all I want now.
All
Twilight's coming. I'm glad for her. I'm glad I'm getting her, but I want sunset too.
Yeah. I just want that dash. That's a really good dash. A company called Super Impulse has apparently made really tiny G1 ponies.
World's smallest My Little Pony.
World's smallest.
In fact, that reminds me because there's actually a toy line, World's Smallest Transformers, which were tiny. I mean, oh my God, there's like, it's literally like smaller, like a quarter the size of your like fingernail, like one of the tape guys from Transformers, and it still transforms. It's like
it still transforms. Unfortunately, these ones don't transform. They're ponies.
They're ponies, but
they don't transform.
So,
unless you bend them really hard,
transforms into a broken toy.
Tiny pony. And pictures of the MLP lineup at the New York Toy Fair have been posted to Equestria Daily.
Mm-hmm.
Not a huge amount of discussion there, but there is a bunch of pictures.
A lot of Cutie Mark crew.
And a lot of it is Cutie Mark crew, with a few new brushables
the new
and
minis,
such like that.
Yeah, the new not-so-great minis, just general merchandise. Not as much as some other years for some reason.
Yes.
It's like there's something's going on.
Yes, it's a very small, not very diverse lineup of things. Subdued. Yeah, that's a good word.
Compared to Transformers, just exploded to merch. Like, geez, they just also like, here's all the pre-orders for all this stuff.
All the things.
Here's all this stuff. Yeah, here's the pre-orders. Okay, cool. Why is the expensive one coming out the same month the other expensive one's coming out?
Because they hate your wallet.
I guess.
Into Equestria Girls news. We have a new Equestria Girls special airing March 30th.
I mean, we already knew about it.
Yes, we already knew about it, but we have a synopsis.
And a date. Air date.
And a date, yes. 30th. Synopsis is, it's spring break, and the main 7 are about to board the most glorious yacht ever for a relaxing cruise. But Rainbow Dash is convinced that equestrian magic is on the loose and won't let anyone rest until she finds it. This leads to disaster on the high seas, a trip to Ponyville, and the ultimate discovery that equestrian magic related to the Storm King has seeped into their world and is threatening everyone on board the yacht.
I think they gave away a little too much detail with that
synopsis. A
synopsis.
little bit more than it needed to be. So yeah, discovering Ponyville, this will probably be the one where you see them turn to ponies.
Yeah, this is already known.
Yeah.
They showed the bits of that in the trailer and the preview. What was it, Comic-Con? Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. But yeah, it's the whole Storm King part. Storm King.
That was already kind of figured out. People figured that out from some of the imagery.
Yeah. So yes, that would be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And in Friendship is Magic news, a new MLP special has also been announced.
Surprise!
My Little Pony Rainbow Road Trip. Its synopsis is, when Twilight Sparkle and her friends arrive in Hope Hollow, they find the town and all its residents completely devoid of color. Their dream vacation is starting to feel more like a nightmare. The main 6 will have to solve the mystery behind this washed-out world if they hope to bring the rainbow back to the Rainbow Festival and color back to the lives of their new friends. Well, if the main 6 are going, Rainbow's going with them. Yes, there's also going to be an accompanying toy set that goes along with that. We'll have ponies with tails that are all white until you dip them into water, and then the color comes back.
They're all lesbians now. Sorry, I don't make the rules.
They've always been that way. And of special side note, apparently the special is not being done by DHX.
Yeah, this is Boulder.
Yeah.
Which we knew that Boulder was doing a special this year.
So yes, there it is.
Because of a leaked document or two.
Yes. So we'll see how that one goes. And a new MLP movie has been announced for 2021.
Yep.
There's no details on it other than that. Other than it's a CGI 3D movie.
Yep. They also
but no
confirmed
other
it's
title,
not-
synopsis, or anything else.
They also confirmed it's not related to the previous movie.
Yes, and it's not related to that
Because
one.
they were calling it My Little Pony 2, and everyone was like, what?
Yeah, they were originally calling it that, and it's like,
And then they confirmed, no, it's not a sequel.
it's not a sequel. If I remember correctly, also not being done by DHX.
No, not at all. It's
No.
No.
So yes, that is the news.
But wait, what about...
No. That's all of our news section.
It's all the news.
That is all of our news section.
Nothing bad happened.
So, into some of our discussion stuff. We're going to get some of the quick little things out of the way before we get to our main topic later. We had a couple shorts come out.
4 of them, in fact.
4 of them, in fact, yes. So we're going to start off with, I guess, the 2 pony ones.
Friendship is Magic short.
Yeah, it's Friendship is Magic shorts. First one is Ail-icorn, written by Kim Bayer Johnson, in which Twilight is sick.
Yep, with some...
And her horn is affected, and she's randomly casting spells.
Uh-huh.
Hilarity ensues until someone shows up.
Pinky comes with
Zikor's medicine and cures it with a side effect.
One literally small side effect.
Small side effect.
Twilight turns into a baby.
Yeah. That one was funny. It was funny.
It's just funny because, part of it's just like, there's an Ail-icorn specific disease.
Yeah. It only affects Ail-icorns.
And makes him cast magic randomly.
Random magic when she sneezes. Things like making wheels pop out of Rarity's hoof because she touched the sparkles that came out of her horn.
No, don't touch it!
Don't touch the magical sparkles. At least it was sparkles and not something else.
And Fluttershy was cold and...
Gave Fluttershy a cold. Literally. Turned her into an ice cube. Made Rainbow speak in sound effect. Just started floating Applejack all over the place.
Yep.
I think Pinky was unaffected because she wasn't there until she showed up with the medicine.
Yep, with the medicine.
Yeah.
And then Twilight turns into a baby and starts crying.
And
it's still
then passes it
Terra
off to Spike.
Yeah.
Yep. It was like, well, time to make up for all that time.
Yep.
She took care of you.
Yeah. And Twilight still being voiced by Tara Strong as a baby because Tara Strong does a really good baby voice.
Yep.
Yeah, look, it's baby Twilight. Yeah.
Hey, baby Twilight.
As an Ail-icorn still.
As an Ail-icorn. Oh no. We've seen what baby Ail-icorns are like. Local baby ruins everything.
That's Twilight, so it's probably a little better behaved. Probably. Hopefully.
Yep. So that was that one. It was pretty funny. I liked it.
Yeah, it had fun stuff in it.
The other one is Teacher of the Month, written by Catherine Chilson, in which Applejack and Rainbow Dash try to get pointers from Fluttershy on how to become Teacher of the Month, because apparently that's still an ongoing thing from the Not So Great episode. She's still becoming Teacher of the Month.
Yep.
And we see some examples of how Fluttershy got Teacher of the Month, and then they apparently, Fluttershy gives Applejack and Rainbow Dash an idea to how to become Teacher of the Month, and then they realize it's actually Fluttershy's idea, so Fluttershy became the Teacher of the Month again.
Yeah. Wait, this
Womp
is
womp.
Fluttershy's idea?
That was alright.
Yeah, it
was alright.
I kind of checked out partway through it.
Yeah. Not a huge amount to say. It's alright. It's not bad.
Yeah,
but not as much meat to it, not as much funny bits to it as the other one.
It's just kind of the whole thing was just basically, look, Fluttershy does something really nice for her class because, or whatever, either because of circumstances or just because she wants to.
Yep.
Okay.
Into the Equestria Girls shorts, we have Sic Skateboard, written by GM Barrow, in which Rainbow Dash is skating at skate park, and then hypes up we're going to see an amazing trick by Tank.
And he goes to the ramp.
And he goes off the ramp. And it's awesome.
Yeah! And just kind of clean up a bit of special effects. It'll be fine. It'll be awesome.
It'll be awesome. And it was awesome. It's just, Rainbow just really likes Tank. Just really loves her pet.
You want to go skateboards?
Want to go skateboards?
Yeah, that was very silly.
It was very silly.
Just because, like, okay, I was half expecting, Tank to fall off or something.
Oh, just flop and just kind of roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw this.
Look at that recovery.
He goes off the ramp. Everyone actually does cheer. But the fact he stayed on the skateboard and everything is pretty impressive for a tortoise.
Yep. Well, they're pretty stable. Yeah, it was fun. And the last one is Street Chic, written by Laura Beck, in which Rarity forgets what season it is and gives her friends summer clothes in the
Summer
middle
clothing
of,
makeovers.
Yeah, summer clothes makeovers while it's transitioning to winter.
Yep, winter's coming.
Yep, much to her friends' dismay.
Yep. And that's just like the one the Applejack trying to warn Dash off. Like,
Fluttershy was too, just Applejack was bigger hand
get
motions.
away before it's
Just
too
run.
Oh. But of
Nope.
course, problem was Rarity appealed to Dash's ego, and well,
Yep.
that was the end.
Yep.
Rarity's all pshaw. It's fine, and then the snow happened.
And then the snow. Flump. Yeah, that's kind of what it felt like this week too.
Yeah, I want
I remember that Friday where the work announces we will close at noon due to the inclement weather. Look outside. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
10 o'clock rolls around. Perfectly fine. 11 o'clock rolls around. Perfectly fine. 11:30. Oh God, it's blizzard conditions. Where did that come from?
Yep. It was
Time to
just
go.
very sudden.
Yes.
But yeah, it's all right.
It's all right. Yeah.
Just maybe we should film this indoors next time.
Yes.
Especially if you're going to do, way out of seat, try and prepare way ahead of schedule.
Yep. So, those are all of the shorts. All right. So, as I'm assuming most of listeners have probably
Become aware
noticed, there was a particular missing entry in our news.
Kind of the biggest
listing.
one.
Yeah, that's the reason we didn't talk about it there, because we're going to talk about it now. So, it has been officially confirmed. Season 9 will, in fact, be the end of Friendship is Magic.
Yep.
It's done.
It's over.
It's over.
Or going to be over.
Yeah, it will be over. This will be the final season.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we've known for over a year.
Well, the leaks said, there was a leak that said that it was going to be that way. Same with that upcoming movie that we talked about in the news. Was even
I remember there's
announced
that
in
brief, a few hour window where people were speculating it might be somehow the end. That might be the final Friendship's Magic thing.
Yeah, because the leak didn't actually give any details about the movie. They just said that there was going to be a movie after season 9.
Well,
before the new series or whatnot.
The leak was the movie they were planning was going to be either they're discussing whether or not it was going to be a Friendship's Magic movie or a for the reboot.
Yeah.
And then they decided on a reboot, and yeah, it was going to be CG, and then they announced it just yesterday, and there we go.
Yeah.
Although
I'm
interesting enough,
trying to remember what the timeline in the leak
it has
was.
changed.
Yeah,
that has
like
changed,
it sounds like
initially because I remember the first leak said the movie was going to come out in the spring of fall of 2019. This year actually, it's going to come out this year. And then the later leak actually they changed it to spring of 2020 because Megan McCarthy is saying we don't have time.
Yeah,
there's not enough time, and now it's been pushed back to 2021, which means okay, they got more time, which is good because I remember they said even this time. I remember Megan McCarthy complaining even the timeline, the extra time you've given us is still not enough. This is going to be bad if you don't give us time.
Yeah, and hopefully that means things are going to be better because I know looking at the leaks, there was a lot of us who are very worried with what we were seeing for what comes after. From some of the leaks in there were some worrisome things. So hopefully it's less worrisome now that they have more time.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, it is a big, important piece of news. And
Friendship Magic is over.
It's
or
over.
Will be over.
We've known this day was going to come.
Eventually.
Yeah, it had to happen. There are those who say this day would never come. What are they to say now? Yes. We'll make Halo references if we can. So yes, it's here. Sort of.
I'll have to say that announcement picture is a little happy.
I know. I have all these happy ponies. My Little Pony.
It's
Guess
over.
What? We're going away.
Bye.
Optics, people, optics.
Yep.
So yes, the end is in sight. The end is near. Get out your signs.
Well, the end of the show is near.
Repent,
anyway.
repent. The end is near. So what does it mean? What does this mean for us? What does this mean for the fandom? What does this mean for the show?
Well,
what can we expect? Or what can we speculate? Because we don't... Right off the top, I will say, we don't know what's going to happen. No one can know what's going to happen. We can speculate. Yeah. We can look at what's happened to others in the past. We can look at where we are and we can guess what will happen, but no one really knows how things are going to go until it actually happens.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put that disclaimer right off the top.
We have touched on this before a little bit. In fact, when the leaks came out and everything, we had to touch on this a little bit. The end of a show is not necessarily the end of a fandom. I mean, a lot of fandoms live well beyond the end of the show. I mean...
The common example, the common example is Star Trek.
It is the 1960s, and the fandom just kept going.
It is a fandom that built around a dying show. From the beginning, the original series of Star Trek was a dying show. It never got super huge, but it got big enough to have a fan base, a big fan base. But that fan base
was passionate,
similar to ours.
Got one extra season out of them.
It stretched out the show.
Kept doing conventions and nonsense well into the 70s and the 80s when finally Next Generation came out, and since then it
just kept getting bigger, and it hasn't ended since.
Yeah.
It is like the eternal fandom. I would say, for shows at least. If you want to say the eternal fandom, it would be furries, but they don't have a specific show. Nothing will kill furries.
Yeah. The other big one, I think, is some other big notable fandoms who just keep going after, and Firefly fandom was a big one. They just keep going.
Yeah, that was a big one. The Firefly fandom. Since when do they make a full feature movie for a already canceled TV show that had one season with low ratings?
Yeah. That's kind of impressive.
Although that's, it's not the show's fault it had low ratings.
But anyway, I think just because the show's over doesn't mean, well, the fandom's over. I think that's one thing people immediately panic about. I saw a lot of people panic about the end of the fandom and stuff.
Yes.
It's like I've been around this, done this up multiple times now. Show's ending does not mean fandom's end, for sure. There's going to be continuous fan art. There's going to still be people writing fanfics. There's going to still be people talking about and sporting pony avatars and whatnot.
I will always have a pony avatar.
Yeah, people are just going to not stop just because the show's over. I mean, not only is that, there's Equestria Girls will still keep going. We know this.
Yeah.
Almost certain that Equestria Girls will go for another year. And then G5. I mean...
whatever that happens to be.
And that's coming in 2021. And there's going to be people who are going to easily pop over to that one. And unless it's abysmal.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. I think we'll probably get to that one a bit later.
I mean,
that's something we'll have to talk about.
Yeah, G5 we might have.
Well, what does G5 mean for us?
Yeah,
the fandom dying. That is a common thing. We've seen it a lot of times within this fandom. It's one of the cries of our fandom that we've heard since season 2. I think the first time we heard that one was the whole Lauren Faust has left the show. Oh no, the shows and the fandom are going to die. Everything's horrible now. We've been hearing it since then, and it's become basically any
even
major big drama.
Some people were actually convinced fandom's going to die when season 1 was over.
Do we even have a big enough fandom at that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
remember, and that was quickly proven wrong by showing the largest growth in the fandom between the 2 seasons. That was the explosion. The end of season 1 into the beginning of season 2 was the point of largest growth. But yeah, we've been hearing it since the beginning, basically. But every time there's always something to it, a reason why. Why do people believe it's the end of the fandom? What causes this?
A mixture of things. I think part of it is just simply inexperience with fandoms in general. A lot of people are younger. We have the teenagers and stuff who this is maybe their first major fandom. They don't really get that things last a long time. I mean, people are still like for me personally, Kim Possible stuff is still occasionally pops up randomly. I mean, they just had a live action movie, which apparently I haven't seen it yet, but it just came out. Apparently, it's not very good. But
that came out.
Yeah, it came out on Friday.
I didn't even know it came out.
Yeah, it came out on Friday.
I know it was talked about, but
anyway, that didn't die just because the show ended in 2007. People were still making fan art and fan fiction and stuff, and people still occasionally talk about it. Talk about it enough for them to go ahead and greenlight a revival on Disney Channel of sorts. But that doesn't die just because the show was ended. DuckTales had a fandom that persisted long enough to get them a reboot recently. Again, the inexperienced thing, I think for a lot of people, this is their first fandom, so they just see that show's over. They don't really understand that fandoms don't die just because shows die. And it's because this is their first fandom, really, so they don't really get that, so they panic. And again, I think because this one is kind of a double-edged sword, because this show went so long, it was a large chunk of people's lives, and now they're having a hard time imagining, life without the show existing.
I think that's a big one, at least for me personally, because I am one of those. This is my first real big fandom, and that's probably due to my lack of resources as a child. I probably would have been part of the Sonic fandom, so I thank my lack of internet for that one. That probably would not have gone well for me. Dodge that one.
Dodge that blue fast bullet.
Yeah, I mean, it was the same with Speed Racer. I was a big Speed Racer fan. I was a big Sonic fan, but I didn't really have internet access, so I never really joined any fandoms. So I was never really part of anything big that one. So this really is my first fandom. And it has a huge amount of significance. And that's another one. Isn't just the first fandom you were part of. Because even if I was part of, say, the Sonic fandom, I highly doubt it would have had anywhere near the impact that this one has. So I think, at least from my perspective, someone who is brand new, who has this level of impact, and I know there's going to be a lot of those out there like me, it is this one thing that they know. There's this huge important thing, and they don't know what's going to come after. They don't have anything else after it, and they don't know what's going to happen, and that's terrifying. It's a giant unknown, and there's also the potential of losing something so close and so important to you. I get it, and I wish I had an answer for that, because I'm right there in the same boat. I don't know what's going to happen, and it's terrifying. I do know, in the logical part of my brain, the fandom will persist in some manner. But I don't know in what manner. And those unknowns are absolutely terrifying. So I wish I had an answer for it. I wish I had something I could use to calm that less logical part of me that just needs to know what's going to happen. And I don't think there is anything you can do about the potential of losing something you love. That's just an inevitability of anything like this. The show can't go on forever, but it's always going to hurt.
Yeah. The real magic was the friends we made along the way. Wait.
The real magic was the friends we made along the way.
Wait. Hold on.
Isn't that
Hold up.
the whole point?
But
thank you. You got the point of the show.
But yeah, it's like I said, it's a double-edged sword because it lasted all by the time it's over. It lasted 9 years.
9 years. It lasted 3 times as long as it was supposed to.
Yeah, but 221 episodes instead out of 65.
Yeah.
Plus at least 2 specials.
Yeah.
Possibly a third one based on the leak, I believe. And a theatrical movie. And kicking off a whole spin-off.
Yeah.
Which in of itself has 4 movies, multiple specials, and dozens of shorts.
It's 9 seasons, and we were only supposed to get 3 to begin with.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I said, the fact that it went for 9 years, it's going to be gone for 9 years by the time it's over. For me, for us, that's like almost a third of our lives.
Yeah. So much of it.
For some people, it's almost their entire life, and for some others, it's like half their life. I think I think Claire Collette was it? I think it was her. She tweeted
Claire.
This is like over half her life was with this show.
The CMC voice actors were kids. They were kids.
So that's
now
the thing,
not.
because that's what I said. The double-edged sword is it lasted so long that we kind of it just became part of life, and now that's not going to be there. The show itself is just not going to be there anymore.
It's a giant emptiness.
And now it's like, well, now what? And
There's
some
a
people,
hole.
older people, are more, I think, because they've had a little more experience,
Yeah.
kind of going to be a little more capable of moving on and going on. And it's like, yeah, this is great. I don't regret it all, but I can move on to this other thing or whatever, and they'll be fine.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to do this. People have been multiple fans before. I've been through this. Like, I've been this.
This ain't my first rodeo.
Yeah, I've been through this multiple times. I know what to expect, and it's like I've been through this. I've seen things be rebooted. I've seen things end. It's like I kind of just can keep going. And it's like, yeah, it's sad, but I'm able to move on.
Rodeo.
Yeah,
because horses, right?
Like it was sad for me when Gravity Falls ended. It's still emotional. Like I was watching, and it was actually it's a pretty emotional to watch the final episode again. But
although with Gravity Falls, again, back to the 9 seasons versus how many seasons Gravity Falls had, we didn't have that long to get ingrained.
Gravity Falls still had a really passionate fan base.
Oh, yeah.
Like, super passionate. Show. Like, these are people who went out in the middle of the night to hunt down, do an actual real-life treasure hunt based off the show.
Yeah.
And actually almost got in legal trouble because they apparently accidentally trespassed on someone's property.
Oops. Because
apparently there was this property dispute that they weren't told about.
Oh, oops.
Yeah, fun little thing there. But it's just some people who went and solved all these puzzles and clues and stuff just to find this silly treasure chest full of cool little tidbits in the middle of the woods in the middle of the night.
Who's its and what's its galore.
Yeah, and it's super passionate. People are still doing stuff with that even though it's over. And that's the thing. It's like there's a passion that it can grow when it gets to that point and say, it can really kind of come overbearing and like you're like, oh crap, when it's all over.
Yeah.
Because it's like this whole chunk of your life is now
gone basically.
And you have to deal with that. And some people have a harder time dealing with that than others because especially again, if it's, inexperience or age can really factor into this.
Yeah. It is a tough one. It's like, the cynical side of me, I saw a tweet about this recently. It's like, the show and the fandom gave you such a big heart. Imagine how much more larger heart you have now to fill. It's like, right, but a bigger vacuum collapses harder. And I think that's part of it. It's like you've grown to love something so much, and you've spent so much into it. Having it gone, it just can all of a sudden just collapse in on you.
Yeah.
So you have to know how to handle that, and that's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
It is really a tough one. So I get it. It's one of those. I will disagree with anyone who says the fandom is dying. It is not dying. Yeah. But I know why you feel this way.
This is a fandom that is a large chunk of it is going to be able to keep moving with the show. Well, there'll be a new show.
Yeah.
It's that simple. There will be one, and it's going to keep moving. There are going to be some people are just not going to touch the new show, period.
Yeah, and that's one thing. I think even if there wasn't a new show, we would still continue.
Yeah, of course. But I'm just saying.
And there will be large aspects that probably will ignore the new one, just because there's always those people that no, we only want are the old. I mean, we had that even within FIM. No, we only want the first season. I saw a tweet
earlier today. It was basically someone was saying that that people would be, if they knew more about G5, they'd be pretty pessimistic. I'm like, no, they wouldn't.
No, there's going to be people who are pessimistic.
Basically, some people are upset just because G5's not G4.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another one I see. It's going to be the G4 fans are going to be the new boomers.
The G1ers of Transformers.
Basically, that's what it's going to turn into.
G4ers.
G4mers.
G4ers.
The old brony. And we already have
the Fimmers. There we go.
Fimmers. The Fimmers. Fimmers versus whatever else. But yeah, we see a little bit of that already with the existing, just within Fim. The ones that, the show was only good in season 1 and 2 when Faust was directing and everything else is terrible.
Yep.
So we're just going to see an extended version of that. And that's just going to happen with anything. We're always going to have that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
But anyway, there's always going to be, if you really, really, really need just new pony, it'll be coming.
It won't be the same. It won't be the same.
And I think you're going to have to accept that. And it's like, I think part of it, there's this pessimistic that it's going to automatically suck because it's not Friendship's Magic.
Yes,
and
there's
people,
part
I
of
think
that.
there's a genuine fear it's going to go back to G3 style. Like there's a genuine fear of that.
And
Which
there's some points that I can see why people would begin to see that. Like,
but my thing is like Megan McCarthy was helping make the G5, and she wrote some really good episodes of G4 if you remember.
Yeah. I think one of the other things we're worried about, especially when seeing this movie and some of the talks, is that it's not DHX.
Oh yeah,
DHX will not be doing the new series.
No, they won't.
And
it's probably going to be Boulder.
There's a lot of talk. It was like with the movie, 3G CGI has a lot of people worried.
Yeah,
because CGI stuff doesn't usually turn out so well.
I would disagree with that assessment of CGI. Again, that's this weird. It's
It
this weird
is
thing
weird.
among animation fans. There's a subset of some animation fans that are kind of very elitist about 2D animation versus 3D animation. That's where a lot of that worry comes from, is because CGI is automatically bad. They're just assuming it's going to be lowest common denominator, pop culture references, cheap garbage.
It's going to be Johnny Test as ponies.
Yeah.
Oh God, that would be horrible. Please,
yeah.
no.
But I think people assume that, and of course, Tony Test. Yeah, anything about Tony Test is that was DHX.
Yeah, that was a weird one. Yeah, the automatic assumption that CGI equals bad. It's because like everyone thinks, whenever anyone thinks of CGI, they think of bad CGI. People don't realize a lot of stuff that they really like is CGI, but you don't know.
You don't think about it. Well,
you can do CGI very well. The problem is you notice when it's not done well, and then people blame all CGI.
Yeah, it's weird. I think again, it's just because CG kind of has become cheap. A lot of crap has come out, and people forget also that the Pony movie was also like
partially CGI,
large chunks that were CGI.
Yeah, there was a lot of 3D animation that went into that too, with 2D overlays.
Yeah, for all 2D characters with 3D backgrounds and everything.
Yep. They even had 3D puppets for the ponies themselves to do all their the rigging and camera placements.
Yeah. And if I recall, if you remember the leaks, it said that the actual TV show will still be traditional 2D animation. I suspect it's going to be Boulder, because remember, Hasbro outright owns Boulder, and they contracted with DHX.
Yeah, and we've seen Boulder stuff, and it is slightly different, but not really.
And it's going to be totally different art style. That's going to be a thing. It's going to be different art style. There's going to be some changes. Some of the characters are going to only share a name and design, maybe a general design, but they're going to be very different characters. And
yeah, there was all the talks and the leaks about the changes in the characters and some of the
that's just going to be something
art.
You're going to have to accept as well, because again, I've gone through that. Transformers done it so many times now. And I think people are convinced again, it's because it's not. That somehow they're going to screw it up because of some reason or another, that Hasbro doesn't know what they're doing. And it's like, Hasbro's been pretty successfully rebooting Transformers constantly for decades now. I think they know what they're doing.
Yeah, there's two things that I've seen that kind of worry me, that I've seen at least one of them worry other ones. A lot of it is based off of the emails that got leaked. Huh. Especially the big one was Applejack.
Yeah.
The whole thing about making her not Southern.
Concepting.
It seems like, oof.
That's all concepting. Also.
But I think it leads into one of my fears, more vague, overarching. And the whole idea, and you said it already a couple times, that the characters will be different. And for me personally, one of the things that that worries me, and I know there's nothing you can do, because it's just something that's going to happen. When they change a character, but they keep the name and some basic design, it almost feels like, you're replacing the character. And when it's a character that you love, that is sometimes impossible to do. How can I get attached to this character that stole the face and name of something I love and now isn't?
Well,
and it kind of hurts. It feels like you've given up on something. I don't want to say cheated, because that's the wrong word, but it's sort of the same sort of idea. It's like you just kind of... like you have something you love and I'll just toss it behind you and go for something new. Like and for me that's one of my worries. It's like I have so much invested and such a heavy interest in these characters. And I love these characters so much. To see someone come in with their name and face that isn't them. It's like, it's like a fake, a fraud, almost. And to willingly accept the new one in place of the old feels almost bad. Like you're hurting something you loved to give up on it.
I can kind of see that, but
it's not logical. I know that's wrong. That's not how it is. And this is a process that needs to go through. But there's that niggling bit at the back of my head that just...
I can kind of get that mindset, but I just don't have it because
Yeah, and you've gone through it so many times with Transformers.
A big one, Soundwave, like the original G1 Soundwave, he's the second command guy with a vocoder, very no nonsense with vocoder filtered voice and everything.
Superior.
Yeah, he's just kind of he's
great.
very loyal to Megatron and all that stuff, and he just kind of does whatever he says. Whereas like say Transformers Prime version he's some silent creepy dude who doesn't ever say anything. He just kind of stares at you, and he's still loyal, but he'll go off and do his own thing for Megatron without specific orders and stuff. So he is a different character. So I think he literally talks once in the entire series. So it's a very different character, but I still really like that version of Soundwave, but I also like the old version of Soundwave as well. So it's like, but I see the thing is, I don't see it as a replacement. I see it as just a second version of the character.
Yeah, and that's the only thing I can think you have to do it. I guess there's something similar with the Equestria Girls, how I treat, like, I'll use Dash as an example, because that's my character. That's who I really,
fast too.
Yeah. Equestria Girls Dash is very different. Not super completely different, but noticeably different. And I conceptualize them as
less mature version of the Pony Dash.
And I conceptualize them as different characters that just happen to have similar names and faces. And that's probably what's going to happen with this one. But there's always that niggling bit in the back. And like you've gone through it a few times, and that does change things once you've seen it and experienced it. But for a lot of us, and me included, this is the first time we've gone through it. So we don't have the experience.
Do know based off the leaks that the characters other than Applejack largely are, I think my understanding is basic characterization and personality stuff is going to remain largely the same. Or at least that's what they're planning for. But there is going to be some minor differences like
Twilight being an Earth pony, Fluttershy becoming a unicorn.
Stuff like that, that's kind of, and it's way superficial. Like that's superficial design changes, but like personality stuff like this, it's supposed to still be the smart one, well read, and Dash is still going to be the sporty loudmouth.
And I know there's, because of that, it could be the possibility that it will effectively be basically the same character, and one can flow to the other,
except for maybe Applejack.
Again, that one still bugs me, just on another almost not quite ethical level, but the whole like, are you just being like prejudiced against farmers? That's what it sounded like from the sounds of the email.
Might just be, well, remember, Applejack's always been the least popular.
Yeah,
and they're trying,
which is why they're trying to fix that. But it almost seems like, ouch.
And it's like one of the things that the people really like Applejack. They're kind of have to realize they're in a minority, and
still kind of sucks for
I know,
them,
but they're in a minority, and well, in the end, they want to make all the characters popular and all the characters sell well when it comes to their merchandise. So they're going to have to confront the fact that some things are going to have to change, regardless of whether or not people are super attached to the character.
Yes, but you can't forget the immortal words: "When everybody is special, no one is."
Yeah, well, it's kind of a different situation entirely, but.
Sure. Yeah, I know that was completely different, but anytime I can throw Incredibles references in, might as well. But yeah, I think that's where a lot of the fears are coming from, especially when looking to G5. It's you're people who don't know, who haven't been through this before, who are heavily invested in this, are suddenly worried that it's like going to be taken away from them.
Well, that's the thing is
and they're worried that we won't be able to like this new thing.
But even if you don't like the new G5, that's fine. I mean, the thing is, G4 will always be there. You have 221 episodes to rewatch.
Yeah,
at any point in time, you have thousands of fanfics, and thousands of bits of fan art to look at.
I think because G4 was so popular, even official media is not going to disappear. We're going to see reruns.
Yeah.
It's going to come back in some various ways.
I will word of warning about expecting sort of revival of G4.
Maybe not a revival, but
I'm just saying, just don't. There's some people I've seen now, they're holding on this weird hope that G5 will fail and they'll bring back G4.
Yeah, no.
Don't do that. No. If G5 fails, what happens is they'll cancel it and go move on to G6, or they'll shelve the entire franchise.
Yeah.
Depending on how bad it gets. So don't expect G4 to return in any real way, maybe other than some sort of weird like anniversary toy line, or maybe a special like 10 years down the line at
Can't wait to buy my Rainbow Dash Masterpiece Collection. Masterpiece Edition.
Basically, the only thing you'll might see is maybe some anniversary toy line or something.
Yeah, but, I mean, they're already doing that for G1.
Yeah.
That just happened. The 40th anniversary or 35th?
35th.
Anniversary, and they have all new G1 ponies coming out. So that will probably
it's theoretically
happen.
possible, but other than that, don't really expect, and some acknowledgments of that, but don't really expect new media.
Yeah, we're not going to get new media,
So
but we're
I
going to
just don't want you guys to
reruns.
raise your hopes and expectations of something impossible and then be crushed when they don't happen.
Yeah, it's not coming
So,
back.
and also don't hope for the failure of G5 just because it's not G4.
No. Hope for the success of G5 so that we can live vicariously through the new series.
Be nice to the new fans who are going to show up for G5.
Oh, that is a big one. Just because someone joins because of G5 doesn't make them any lesser than us who were there before it was cool. Don't go all hipster and boomer-esque.
Because remember
Accept
also
them as one of us because they are.
Yeah. So
I just wanted to get my fears out there too.
Friendship's Magic's over, or will be over.
It will be over.
I have heard things about it since season 9, which makes me really excited for it, and I'm hoping they really go for it with a bang.
Yeah, big Jim has been teasing some stuff on Twitter.
We're in the 200th episode.
Go check out Jim's Twitter.
We've already said our wish list a couple episodes ago, but
so yeah, special guests and stuff are coming, so it's probably going to be a really good season.
Mm-hmm.
So they said they're sending it off really well, and I hope that is the case. I hope we really don't get a QA session.
I really hope we don't get a wet fart of a finale.
Just sit down in a giant QA session for the finale.
That would be the best. Yeah.
But yeah, that's where we're at. That's where the fandom's at. It really just comes down to the fandom won't die. We have too much momentum. Even if G5 flops, we'll still be here. It may see a drop. We're not going to stay as big. There's already
been a drop over the course of the show run anyway.
Yeah, but we will never go away. The amount we drop will diminish. It will hit it'll probably hit a bottom limit. It'll flatten out and stabilize. Most likely, is what will happen. Is we will stabilize at probably a smaller amount, but we will always be there. There will always be Fandom Works, and the conventions are already saying we will be here as long as we have attendees. So if you really want your fandom, so a lot of them already have. Like Everfree has, BabsCon has. It's as long as same with TrotCon. So a lot of little ones said as long as we have attendees, we'll be here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you want to see your fandom continue, support it. Commission artists if you got the money. Go to conventions if you got the money. Talk about it. Keep it alive. If you want to see the fandom stay alive, be alive in the fandom.
There you go. So
yeah, be the fandom you want to be, I guess. So yeah, we'll always be here as long as they're around to be here. Yes. The fandom's not going anywhere.
As for the future of the podcast, that's still in flux because
we have to be more than existing to have a podcast to talk about.
Yeah, the problem
has to be news to talk about.
We have limited without the show. There's very limited stuff to talk about, and Equestria Girls shorts aren't going to be enough to do a weekly podcast around. There's things will probably inevitably change for us, but we'll try to keep this thing going as long as possible. And heck, when G5 comes around, we may go right back into full swing and go like, yep, we're going again. If
G5 is great and there's content for us and we want to talk about that in the podcast, we'll just move into G5 and we'll be here for that.
There might be a time, though, the podcast itself will just simply stop because there's nothing left to do.
Yeah, and even if the podcast stops, I know personally, I'm not going to abandon the fandom. I'm still going to be around.
I'm just going to toss all this pony merch I'm surrounded by out in the trash because it's irrelevant.
And I know a lot of people are worried because a lot of big names have done that. They've just turned around and say, "Nope, I'm abandoning the fandom. I'm out. I'm gone. I'm leaving the fandom." We're not going to do that. We're going to be around, even if we don't have a podcast. We'll still be here in some other form.
Yeah,
we'll be lurking in the corners, just waiting for our time to strike. So yeah. That's all I wanted to talk about. That's more or less what I wanted to get out.
Really long.
Yeah. Basically, I get your fears. Your fears are valid. I understand them, and I'm here with you. But
don't let them rule your life.
Don't let them take over and get you into a downward spiral. Try to keep your head above water because we will still be here. So. All right, fan content. I got one song I want to feature this week, and it is RoomVR's Winter's Embrace. This is a nice, mellow orchestral song. It's just really pleasant to listen to. It's nice and tranquil and peaceful. It's got a nice peaceful feeling to it. It really fits the theme, the winter theme. You know, walking out in a fresh snow, a nice sunshine after a fresh snow that you're not having to shovel a driveway from. The nice part of winter snow. Yeah, right. I love the piano work in it, and the strings are just spot on. So it's really good.
Yeah, there's the intro bit. I like the piano mixed with the ambience in the beginning.
Nice ambient nature.
It's a very pleasant and relaxing song overall. And there's actually some bits in it that have a bit of a melancholic feeling to them, honestly. It's particularly towards the end, there's actually some bits that's like,
Which is common for winter theme stuff. Yes. There's always a bit of that melancholiness. But yeah, I like it. It's a good song. Go check it out. So, fanfics.
Yeah, fanfics. I actually got two of them. I'm going to try to get through them both real quick. First one is 28 Boulders by AstralMouse, in which Chrysalis is getting a little paranoid in her isolation.
It's not paranoia if they really are out to get you.
Yeah, so basically, yes, Chrysalis is by herself, and it's from her perspective, and yeah.
She's losing it.
It just spends a lot of time taking it. I just really like how this one was written, just kind of really getting into this is someone who's kind of losing grip on reality. I just really like it for that. It's kind of a short story about a little over 2,000 words. Just really nice, just getting this weird perspective of Chrysalis, who's like, her paranoia has really gotten to her.
Yeah. It's pretty good. A little hard to follow, but that's kind of the point.
Yep.
Kind of the point when someone's not all there, they get kind of hard to follow.
28 boulders.
So yes. Or was it 27?
Yeah. So check that one out. It's a interesting read. And the other one I have is called The Librarian's Torch by Novel Idea. And
Novel Idea.
Yep. This is not a Sunlight fic, surprising. It's a Twilight Answer fic.
Still gotta have one of your waifus.
Yeah. So in this one, well, it's the Twilight and Moondancer kind of are being awkward.
Being awkward about the library.
The library and each other.
Yes.
And that's the gist of it, more or less. There's a lot of stuff about the library and whatnot in particular. Sunset makes an appearance.
So Sunset is in this one.
Yeah. I mean, she's right there in the tags.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's there's actually, there's obviously a lot more to it than that, but I don't really have a lot of time to say about it because we're running out of time to talk.
Yeah, plus it's hard to say more things without really spoiling parts.
Yeah, it's to say Twilight and Moondancer there's a lot of stuff going on still between them and the library and whatnot. Just kind of got to work. The two of them got to work it out, and someone else has to kind of get there and kind of like
knock Twilight upside the head a bit.
Kick a little sense in them. Yeah, just to get things rolling.
I like it. It's really well written. The dialogue's pretty good. Although, sometimes dealing with the awkwardness is a little bit hard to follow. But again, that's just how it goes. That's how awkwardness is.
It's awkward.
It's awkward.
What a shock.
I do really like the portrayal of Sunset in it.
Mm-hmm.
I like that attitude. It's good. Check it out. I like it.
Yeah. It was, how long was that? It was about...
It's like 7,000 words?
Yeah, 7,357 words.
Yeah. All right, so that's fanfics. That's all the fan content we have, and that is the end of this episode. Yeah. So, it is running a bit long, so let me try and quickly get through our word vomit. If you liked what you heard, and I hope you do, you can find all of our episodes past, future, present at pony411.libsyn.com. Remember, that's spelled Libsyn. So go there, find them all. You can download them. There's RSS feeds there as well. Yada, yada, yada. Yeah. You can also find us on iTunes. Search for Pony411. Go give us 5 stars. Subscribe to us there. Have it all auto-download. Yada, yada. You know how that works, I hope. We are also on Stitcher, Stitcher.com, or use the mobile apps. Search for our name. You know it. It's Pony411. We are also on Google Play. Play.google.com/music, and then you can search for Pony411 there and find us. And subscribe and yada, yada. I'm saying yada, yada a lot. Anyway. We are also on YouTube, youtube.com/pony411. All of our episodes are there. So comment on them. We do read those. Subscribe to us and like and click the bell. That's what they are. Yes. Those are the YouTube things. We are also on Ponyville Live while they still exist. I don't know. That one's weird.
I tried to log in once and it
every now and then check to say this still exists.
They exist.
We are listed amongst all of the shows there, so if you still use that, we are there as well. It will auto-update with the YouTube. We also air on Ponyville FM every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, so tune in then to catch us there. or whenever you want, because it's a great place to go and listen to music. They got live DJs and stuff like that going on all the time. So great place to check out. If you would like to get a hold of us, you can email us. We are pony411podcast@gmail.com. So send us comments, criticisms, suggestions. Tell us what you thought about this episode. Tell us what you think about the fandom, the end of the fandom, the beginnings of G5, what that's going to be like. Send it to us. We will read them and potentially even reply. We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/pony411. You can message us there, like our page. We'll post updates when they happen. Everyone knows how Facebook works, I hope. We're also on Twitter, @pony411. Follow us there. Tweet us. Best place to quickly just say hi or just BS with us or whatnot. So follow us there. It's great. You can also follow our personal accounts on Twitter. I am @Alca7raz with a 7 instead of a T and an underscore at the end, and he is @Nemesis Prime 1.
Yep.
Follow us there. See me retweet ponies and tweet about the snowfall.
Snow.
So much snow.
Yep.
So yes,
All right,
that is where to
choice.
find us. Also, we did a new thing.
We did a new thing. You probably saw it on the Twitter.
Yes, if you follow our Twitter, you probably already saw it there. But we're not just pony fans.
Yeah.
We're getting into anime too.
Ah!
Yep, we're starting to become weebs.
Ew.
So we decided we're going to do another podcast as well as this one. We're doubling up on
Not
podcasts.
replacing.
Not replacing. Like I said, we are doubling up.
Like I said
So we were
on
running
Twitter,
2
we're
podcasts.
not abandoning Pony.
That's like what we just said throughout this entire thing. We are not abandoning anything, but we want to, keep doing things in other areas as well. So we are doing a podcast on anime, and since we're new to it, we're going from that perspective. New people into the whole world of anime. It is called New to Weeaboo.
Uh-huh.
So check that out. The links will be all over our sites and things like that.
We retweeted on Twitter. You can follow the new one @NewToWeeaboo. NewToWeeaboo.limsa.com. Still same thing. We retweeted stuff. It's linked on our YouTube page. Everything. It's on the RSS feed for the Libsyn site. Everything. We just kind of made sure you know about it.
Yep. So if you like anime and you like us, go listen to us talk about anime.
Yeah, we started off with Zombieland Saga, which is a great one from last year. So yeah, we did that thing. That's going to be a monthly thing. We're not going to replace Pony Farm 1 at least anytime soon.
Nope, we have no plans to replace anything.
We're just going to do this on top of that, and hopefully,
not burn out.
Yeah, that's why we're only doing it monthly.
The New to Weeaboo is only like once a month or so.
Yeah, that's what I said, monthly.
Yeah. All right, so
Yeah.
that's that. I hope you liked what you heard. Hope you tune in next time.
Hope you tune in the other thing too.
And our other thing. Check that out as well. But until next time, remember, please, pony responsibly. See ya.
Goodbye.